All right, welcome back. This is Bitcoin Design Guide Jam session number 53. We're a little bit back after a bit of a summer break, I think. I don't know how long it's been. A month, maybe? Not sure. Some of us went on vacation. Some of us went to conferences. Some of us worked in the background. Some of us haven't. So I think it's a good time to just catch up with what's going on. I did create as usual, created a notes document here that I'll just share with everyone. We can take notes in here, and there's some leftover notes from our last call in here, which maybe we can use to pick things up. But first, maybe a quick go around to just ask what topics you have, what you want to talk about. I mean, our standard is just to go through open pull requests, open milestones, and then kind of cover every project a little bit. But is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
I'd like to discuss the Wallet Scrutiny case study, which is being worked on at the moment. If we could chat about that as well, yeah.
Study.
Yeah, and I thought if we could have a look at the miniscript, how it works page, because I'm not, I'm a bit unsure how, and I don't know why my camera stopped working, but yeah, I'll probably give it another go, and then I think at some point we should discuss whether it's good enough to start integrating it into the design guide.
Yeah. If I remember it correctly, it is a really good time to move it into design or create a pull request to make it more real in a way and just get it in. I feel like we've been at it for some time and it's in really good shape. But okay, let's just start very quickly from the top here. So we have this milestone. Well, actually, let's just start with the big picture. This is our roadmap, which is really a bit outdated. We have our milestone 19 in here. There are two things. One is about providing guidance for purchasing Bitcoin within the wallet. Stain, I think he said he's interested in that one, but hasn't started work. And also he switched jobs, so he's super busy, so he's not really going to do anything. So I don't think purchasing Bitcoin within a wallet is a super high priority. So I feel like I would just unassign this one and just move it out of the milestone. How does that sound? This was brought up by Moneyball here, and I think it was partially because the wallet.build, or I think it's called BitKit now, that's something that they just blogged about how they integrate purchasing Bitcoin. Yeah.
It sounds good to move it out temporarily. We can always come back to it.
Then I will unassign this one. Yeah, Stain, I don't know. He talked to me and he said basically he just doesn't have time right now. It's easy to just reassign it, add it back in if it's better time for him. And then explore and document how to handle send fees. This one also Stain started, and then I took it over because there was a bunch of work done. We have a pull request for it that I think both of you have reviewed. Michael, you've given your okay on, but Stephen did a review and had some issues with it or requested changes. So I just repinged him for approving that or reviewing it, either way. Yeah. So I feel like it's pretty straightforward. I would like to get that one merged in. I think the feedback was just minor text. And that's kind of it right now for our milestones, but we are cheating a little bit because we have this on-chain reference design revision progress tracker here too, which is kind of a micro milestone. But it's like a bigger picture thing where the idea is that we're revising all of these big reference designs. And then I think we're creating milestones from this, if I remember correctly. So we really should set up a new milestone here. And maybe at the end of this call, once we talk through a few things, maybe we can put that together.
Sounds like a good plan.
If there's nothing that comes out of it for me, I would like to tackle the create a page about accounts, because if I feel like it's a fairly straightforward one to tackle, it affects multiple reference designs. We work on that a little bit right now with the Bitcoin Core app, so might as well. Okay. And then another more household stuff here. Open pull requests. I created one earlier. We have this. So Alexa created this Arts Meet Bitcoin Figma file here, but since then she's deleted it from Figma community. And that's a dead link now, so I would just take that down. That's really it. It just removes this link. Then the extract send fees page, and then we have the code resources page. Daniel started as a draft. It's a draft, so we don't need to act on it. And then we have this implement prefers contrast media query. So if a user has set in the accessibility settings they want higher contrast, that the website will actually be higher contrast. And Michael, you said it doesn't work for you, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure if I just didn't see it, and I think it's been a month ago or so I haven't
yeah.
rechecked, but I kind of couldn't see a difference.
I mean, you also took the screenshots of it and they look identical, so I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. And which browser was this?
Chrome.
Chrome, because I tested in Chrome too and it works great, so I don't really know what's going on. I took a quick check and see if this functionality is potentially buggy or not properly supported across browsers, but I also didn't see anything, so I'm not quite sure what to do with your test findings.
I can retest to see if it was kind of a different browser. I don't know if I mentioned whether it's others as well, but
yeah, Mo, if you could retest it or also test it, that would be amazing. So we have another.
I was just about to offer. Could you share the link with that? Is that just the open pull request on?
Yep. And that one resolves a very, very long ongoing issue about contrast on the website, and a very, very much bigger universal discussion about contrast and perception in general. It'll be nice to resolve. Okay, so there's that. That covers our pull requests, I think. So 3 of these could be merged very quickly, which is good. And then we can move on to other things. How about, before we hop into this mess here, how about we start with the 2 topics you brought up? Mo mentioned it first, so how about we start with wallet scrutiny?
Absolutely.
It's going to be a fairly quick one to discuss. So we, within the Bitcoin design community, we did the wallet scrutiny sprint, and there was the redesign of the wallet, and a lot of that was documented in the Bitcoin design, not the guide, but the other one, the meta, I think. And then, on the 3rd of August, we created this this document, which Dami and Shalom would take on. And, we basically have a lot of the stuff, because it's very much, something that was done in the community and something that was also documented. So this case study is now in the workings, and I feel this is something that we could wrap up fairly quickly, because we have all of the stuff. So I'd be very happy to just continue working with this, and maybe think about adding it as a milestone as well. Because as I said, we started with it on the 3rd of August, and it's now a month later. So I feel like definitely want to move this one along. So yeah, that's just my my 2 cents on that one.
No, sounds great. You have two contributors from what I saw, and you were part of the project, and all the
Yeah,
content's pretty much there. There's also plenty of videos and design materials to pull in, so this should be yeah. I mean, for the other contributors, it will not be easy to understand what the main learnings were or some of the experiences during the project necessarily, but I think that's where you can provide guidance, so it should be all good.
yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm happy to just continue like running with that one and then see how the contributors want to work together with that, and then just like bring it a bit to the finish line. Because we definitely have all of the resources. It's not something that's going to take a long time.
yeah. Awesome. And then Wallet Scrutiny is still going on. We're going to have another call tomorrow about upcoming design challenges, which are getting pretty nitty gritty, I
Yeah.
think.
So yeah, that's about it with the case study. I feel I'll just continue working with that, and then yeah, I'll try to add in and put it into finish the write up a bit more. It's just like, yeah, it's almost there.
Yeah. Should I create a milestone for this just so we see it's active? Or
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
go for it.
if we look at the roadmap, there's also so if you look at the roadmap here, it also shows stuff that's not related to a milestone. You can just say it's in progress or whatnot. So
Hmm.
I don't know. Do you want a milestone, or should we just work a little bit independent of those?
I mean, I'm happy to add it as a milestone. I know that I will definitely bring it to the finish line. So if we
Hmm.
add it in the current milestone, it's also fine. It's just because I know it's not something that's going to take very long. We have the visuals, we
Yeah,
have everything. So it'll be a bit of back and forth with the content itself, and then it will, yeah, you
yeah.
can pretty much create a page out of it. So,
Yeah, I mean the milestones are good for so the times that worked best with milestones was when we had 5, 6 people or so,
yeah.
and we had a very strict timeline. So every milestone was 3 weeks. At the end of 3 weeks, we were very strict. We were like, okay, this task will take 4 weeks. Okay, we need to break it down further so it fits within milestones. And then we took it very serious. If we don't take it serious, just work on a rolling basis, then we don't really need milestones.
Yeah, I'm fine either way. I mean, we can leave it as not putting it as a milestone, and we can just
Yeah.
finish it.
If
Yeah,
you
I
feel
mean,
like it helps keep a certain pace, then we can also have them. It's just up to us.
yeah. I honestly don't have any preference. Honestly,
Michael, do you have
so
any preference on it? You're muted, by the way.
Again, sorry, I have to get out of full screen here. It confuses me. Yeah, in terms of, I mean, if you keep pushing stuff over the milestones or out, then it's actually more like sprints. A milestone for me is more like you achieve something, and the achievement of something is the milestone, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
that's just my kind of semantic analogy. But it's like the way I figure or I reckon it worked until now is kind of it's a like a release or something like for release 1.3 we have these and these and these things in it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Not really either. But it's just GitHub calls the feature milestones and then just it. And you can put tasks in it, and it has a due date, and that's pretty much
mhm,
it. Like you just have to deal with those terms and those features, and you can
yeah,
do
yeah.
whatever you want with them.
I mean, I don't have I don't have really a preference. I think it can work. It can keep working. I mean, it's the danger of something like that has no deadline is it can drag on for a long time, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Maybe add it in as no milestone for now, and then I don't
Yeah.
know. How does that sound? Like, yeah, add it in as no milestone, and then we see. I don't know.
Okay. Cool. So I'm basically adding it to the roadmap, and then it's in progress. and I will assign it to you. All right. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm also a little bit torn on if each of us can kind of make sure that we keep a good pace on our own work, then I think it's fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. So a mini script it is then, or
Yeah, I just what I maybe wanted to have a look at, and let me see if I can. I started using Arc, and sometimes it still confuses me, but I actually like it. But let me see if I'm able to share my screen, because I mean it's been quite a long. It's been dragging on. Of course, there were vacations and conferences and stuff, but I feel that I'd like to also get it out, at least for in a current version. So I wanted to discuss whether you guys think it's in a good enough shape to actually move it into the guide, out of the Google Doc and into the guide. And still gonna have to probably, where's the share? Okay. Open system settings. Mm,
yeah, perm-
yeah,
yeah,
I have to
permission
switch
thing.
to. I'm gonna
Yeah.
switch to Chrome because Arc won't let me. It's the first time that I want to. I'll have to get out and come back in because Arc won't let me unless I quit and reopen.
Yeah. Do you want to sing a song until Michael's back? Entertain the crowd? No. Okay. Let's see. Or a poem. Poem could also work. By the way, Mo, do you ever use the search on the guide?
I do. I actually just used it 5 minutes ago.
And how did it work? Was it
I
helpful?
actually typed in the word keys because I was looking at Michael's Google document about the write-up that he's about to share with us. And then I was curious what else there was about keys in the guide. So I just typed in the word keys, and then there was two things that came up. And then I just dove into them to see if it contained, in any information that would help me
Mhm.
review his work. So I definitely do use it. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
And
yeah.
have you had problems with it, or at times where it didn't get?
Well, that's a good question because I do remember it looking slightly not normal. Let me just, I'm going to go into it now and I'm going to share screen. So let's see. I will share my entire window. Here we go. Don't know if is this visible?
Yes.
Okay, so I actually typed in keys and then you see these two here. It's like these kind of blank things pop up. That looked a little bit, you know?
Hmm. I know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is as well. So I kind of remember that when I typed in keys. And then when you go into the actual page itself, you see there's kind of these like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what that is. So that kind of came through. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering because I asked this in the general channel too, because when speaking with Wallet Scrutiny, I saw that our search library, JavaScript library, is outdated, and the
Mm-hmm.
new one can do more stuff. Like you can just say, don't just search for the exact word, but slight misspellings too.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can say, well, include this word, but do not include that word. So
Yeah.
you have more flexibilities, and I wanted to, and you also get a score, like how good of a result is this, so you can understand a little bit like which ones you're more likely to find something and which ones it's a bit of a guess. So I wanted to look at just revise the search because of
Yeah.
the wallet scrutiny conversation. But Michael's back. Let's hop in.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Good.
Let me share the screen. Here we go. Okay, I hope you guys can see my page now.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet for me. Maybe. How about you, Mo? There it is.
I see it in Jitsi.
I see.
I see it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so I think one of the things that I still struggle with is the title, which I mean we have an issue on GitHub for this page, and we called it complex spending conditions for now. And as I kind of dug into the topic more, it's basically you can do basically three things with miniscripts. One is time locks. The second is are these veto keys, and the third are hash locks. But I'm not really sure how useful they are right now, and what exactly you can do with them. But then I started writing and writing, and it's mostly about time locks. And thanks for the comments, Mo, by the way. And so I was kind of thinking whether to just keep the naming like it is, or rename it to something that talks more about time locks. But yeah, that I still struggle with this, and that's would be nice to get some feedback on, and also um, on the I try to visualize the concepts a little bit. The drawings are not really ready for prime time, but I wanted to get some feedback on whether you guys think that they are kind of usable and understandable. And then the final thing is whether you guys think I should start putting, working it on this actually in GitHub and not in Google Docs. So that's kind of the stuff that I wanted to touch on if we have time.
Yeah, it's awesome. So regarding the title, because this goes into the how it works page,
Yeah.
I would just run with it. And maybe once it's in pull request and other people see it, maybe there'll be more discussion and someone will come up with something good. If you haven't
Mm-hmm.
found after weeks or months thinking about this, if you haven't found something by now, just kind of get over it. I would say move on with it, and see if something else comes up along the way. But because it isn't how it works, I feel like it's okay. Once we get into the user-facing stuff, I think it would be good to have different terms. But I also think at that point it'll be more use case focused.
Yeah.
So it'll be creating a fallback wallet or something like that. Um, yeah, so I think that's good. One thing that stuck out here scrolling down was the term layer, because we use layer as on chain, Lightning, that type of
Mm-hmm.
layer. Maybe a different term
Mm-hmm.
there might be better. I don't know. Did you get that? Is that term layer used in some of the technical documentation, or is it something you added?
No, I uh I talked. I mean, we talked to the guys from Liana, and also during Baltic Honey Badger, and even before I talked to um, Rob Hamilton from Anchor Watch, and they work heavily with Miniscript. And one of the Liana guys, they talk about this kind of in recovery path or paths, and people from Anchor Watch actually work with the terminology layers, which I find a bit more um, approachable because it's actually what you enable additional layers of spending, but maybe levels or something else might be better. You're right. I didn't really think about the L1, L2, L3 association from kind of the Bitcoin, Lightning, and these kind of things. So that's a good point.
It's always tough to get away from the technical stuff. Even the term signature threshold is, I find, hard to understand. It's
Yeah,
almost like you have more options. You have like more spending options available, or more signing options, or
yeah,
approval options.
yeah,
Yeah.
or maybe or just requirements. I mean, yeah, it's still um, it is one of the more complicated topics, right?
Mm.
Um, so
I'm also just thinking in terms of visibility in the guide and how people would come across this content. So it would be in the how it works section. But then I'm imagining in myself in user shoes, I would type into the search bar some particular thing that I'm now building or trying to design in the wallet. And then ideally this would pop out at me. Um, it feels like some like really normal term would be delayed because everything is delayed using the keys. I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud.
Mm.
And then I was also wondering if the search, how the search functionality works. Like, does it only pick up when it's the H1 header, or is it also picking up like the content in the actual write-up itself?
Also the content. Yeah.
Okay, so if someone typed in key, then this would come up as well, which is
Yeah.
good. Then yeah, it's findable. So yeah.
Yeah. What I found helpful with figuring out these terms is sometimes you just start from the opposite. You actually have to design the UI to figure out what the term should be. Because when you
Hmm.
start from the technical side, you always have that. You're trying to get away from something. You're not trying to find something, you're trying to get away from something. But when you just think about through like linearly how someone moves through all these things, and like what they've know at each point and what you're introducing, then I feel like it's sometimes so much easier
Mm,
to start from the design side of things, or the user side, to find
yeah,
those
that's
words. But yeah, delayed sounds
cool.
pretty good too, or just inactive, or not
Yeah,
yet active.
yeah. I used dormant
Yeah,
for now.
sleepy
But yeah,
keys.
exactly. Tired. I I was I didn't want to use the word sleeper,
Yeah.
sleeper keys, but it's like something that you wake up um, after a certain time. So that was
Yeah, I feel like looking at some UI mockups will help clarify that
mm,
stuff. So I
yeah,
will, and the thing is, once this is live, we can still change. We can do another iteration, change the words around all we want. So
yeah,
I would just not get stuck on it. We had so many hours and hours of discussing words during the existence of this guide. It's crazy.
okay. No, that actually sounds good. I can get. I mean, the reference design are kind of the second aspect of this topic, so I can just get started there and put something or use something that I think makes sense, put it uh, on GitHub, and then have a kind of discussion over there.
Awesome. Yeah.
go for it, Michael.
Yeah, and I just shared a link. This wallet I came across, multi.inc/vault, and I don't know. It seems it is a multi-sig, and it seems extremely minimal. And I don't know if there's anything there we could learn from with the terminology. Like there's one screen where there's a list of devices, and it says some of them are recovery, some of them are for signing. I don't know. Maybe there's something there to learn from.
Nice. I'll check it out. Didn't know that one.
Well, it is. Um, it costs only the cheap one. The basic one costs 200 per year, and then the other one costs 700 per year. They go for the high end options.
There's waitlist for everything. It's very clean, the whole. Wow.
No idea who's behind it though. But yeah, seems could be interesting. Yeah, cool. So, Michael, some things other people have done. Some people go straight from here to GitHub, create a draft pull request or so it's kind of up without images. Other people have gone from here to Figma, basically copy the text into a page mockup, and then just fill in the images there, because for them it was easier to deal with that than with GitHub, because you can just like change text, the final text, try, design your images right there, so you see the whole thing like very
True.
conveniently, and you can do whatever you want, whatever works best for you.
Cool. Yeah, I think for me it's going to be easier to do Figma first.
Go for it.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And would another reading be helpful now, or do you just want to?
Maybe I'll just port it to Figma. Kind of have a look at all the suggestions that I got now, and then I would probably maybe tomorrow or on Wednesday I'll have the Figma page ready, and then continue over there.
Cool.
Sounds
All
good.
right.
Sounds excellent.
This is a long write-up, Michael. I mean, like, do not underestimate how many pages it is. So
Yeah, it's long, but I mean, it can be something very powerful. I mean, all these policies that you can design with it. Yeah, it's a beast.
Yeah, something that also happens sometimes when moving a draft document into the guide is that you realize that there's some overlap and there's some stuff you can remove because it's covered elsewhere. It always just changes once you move things into the guide. You look at things differently, and you always end up having to change some stuff around.
Yeah.
And if you want to have some fun as well, you can think about or designing a header or using AI for a header image. So you can have lots of fun with that.
Sleeping keys, little clouds up there, dreaming
Yeah,
of, I
exactly.
don't know, whatever.
Yeah, you have a key that has a smiley face key.
Yeah. Oh, actually, Midjourney is horrible at rendering keys. I tried that pretty hard for the card game. You end up with weird looking pieces of metal, but not keys.
Yeah, I canceled my paid subscription for Midjourney because I wasn't using it for like 2 months.
Yeah. I'll still need it for a bit for saving Satoshi.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So anything else in this one, or should we move on to other things?
No, I think let's move on.
Okay, yeah. So we got that covered. And is there an issue that I can put in the roadmap? It must be this one here. Right? Document UX best practices for multi-key wallets with complex spending. It feels like what you're doing is a sub task of this. Huh?
Yeah.
Seems close enough.
It is close enough. But yeah, I also have to. I was thinking about whether this long page write-up could be spread out in multiple parts, like one where you deal only with the time locks, one only with these veto keys. But yeah, maybe that's too much.
You'll realize that once it's in the guide how long the content actually is and if it's still manageable. Sometimes you just need to add a table of contents and it's fine, and sometimes you realize it's a drag to read this page, and then you end up splitting it up.
Yeah. Then we can create an issue for splitting it up, right? So it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We can be
Cool.
very iterative here. Okay, cool. And then let's take a look at this on-chain reference design revision progress tracker. So this is kind of how it works. Okay, so there are 2 tasks here. Okay, so it's kind of related here. So after this one, would you then start the reference design for multi-sig and time lock?
Yeah, I would. I think it's good to have it kind of in tandem, and
Yeah.
I already did some explorations for it, so I'll do that as well.
Okay. So maybe I'll, like I said earlier, maybe I'll just tackle this wallet management stuff here at the top, which is create a page about accounts. Accounts meaning, so there's the concept of accounts in HD wallets, but that's not what it's about. It's like you have multiple wallets managed within one application. One of them might be single, one might be multi, and one of them you might have archived, so you're not using it anymore, but you still want to be notified when a transaction comes in for whatever reason. That type of stuff. And then the wallet history, that's pretty much what. So I think I'll just try to tackle that one next. And then afterwards, I feel like Upgradable Wallet also builds on this wallet management, because it does mean you're in the same application. You're abandoning one wallet because it's not secure enough anymore. You're moving to an alternate configuration.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have this old one. So it's kind of tied together. Let's take a look. So we have another 57 issues here. There's the search one here that I just added. We have one about eCash, added by Seth. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of other stuff there too. App screens page. Some old ones that we can probably kick out. Yeah. Okay, cool. But let's focus on the things that we decided on and just get them done.
Yeah, let's just do it.
Cool. I mean, something we also did. Do you have other topics to talk about you wanted to go over?
I know I still have some stuff outlying on my side. I know that I've just been, I've been at the conferences, and then I've been doing the research sprints. So I know from my side, there's still linking the UX research toolkit to the guide that I honestly haven't touched yet, just because I've been doing so much of other stuff. But I do know that that's still something that I do need to look into as well.
Yeah. How about you just do that next after the wallet scrutiny case?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, for
one
sure.
thing at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're split across a lot of things, so one guide thing at a time is probably a good.
Exactly. I think right now, in terms of my workload, I can take on one thing with regards to the guide, and that feels quite reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then recently we also, I guess it's research kit related. Then we have UI kit and icons. UI kit, where that bounty action recently has basically come to a halt right now, where it's not clear who's going to work on what next. So, but I'll try to schedule a separate call with that group, because a lot of new people have come in. Not sure who wants to do what at this point, but I think I'll schedule a separate call now and figure out how to move forward there.
Mm-hmm. I was reading through the Discord messages. I think, when was it? 2 days ago, actually. It was a long conversation there.
Yes, it was.
Unfortunate.
Well, good things and bad things, right? So gotta keep the good things, get over the bad things, or not necessarily bad, but just stuff along the way that we need to get past. Put it that way. But yeah, I mean, maybe in a couple of years here, we'll just be all talking about Penpot, and Figma will be this old thing we left behind. Who knows?
would be nice. Would be nice, but I started looking at it while we just had started the vacation, and I quickly realized I need to unlearn a lot of stuff from
Yeah.
Figma so that the hurdle is significant. So
I'm
I abandoned it.
sorry. I'm actually learning how, like, trying to improve my design skills. So, right now I'm mostly in Figma because that's kind of the tool that everyone's using, but I haven't really touched PenPot at all. And it might almost be that if I just go only PenPot, then I'm, only in PenPot, and then I'm not have the I don't have my design skills based on Figma.
Hmm.
But yeah, I honestly wouldn't even know which direction to go in.
Yeah. I mean, big picture, there are a ton of similarities. It's once you get into the nitty gritty, especially of design systems, that's where you really notice.
Yeah.
And maintaining big application files, that's where it really becomes apparent. Like some of the lagginess issues, and you miss some features like variants and whatnot. But on
Hmm.
the other hand, you can use shared libraries on free accounts, right? And we have components
Yeah.
v2. Variants will be coming in October, ideally. So there'll be a transition up and down phase. And we can work with the PenPod team, and they're friendly and they're open,
Mm,
and that's a nice thing too, if you can tell them.
Yeah, that's a very cool thing if basically you can help shape the roadmap a little bit. That's
mm,
that's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, cool. So we have about another 13 minutes, but we don't have to chat for another 13 minutes if we don't want to. So we can also wrap it up, unless you want to keep chatting.
Wrap it up, wrap it up.
Rapid, rapid, rapid. Let's go.
All right, then I will stop the recording here. Thanks for anyone who tuned into this one or watches it later. Chat with you soon.